So, Thriller Bark. We're back for, I'm guessing, the final time? If I get it wrong 2 times in a row, that's just ridiculous. There was more Thriller Bark. I read it. Let's talk about it. So yeah, I had to make a part 3. Thank you for letting me know, everyone in the comments. That was... Man. You remember when I said I think I was... Well, we'll just play it right now. So this arc, I hope, ends it after chapter 483. So I'm at chapter 484. I was an idiot. Oh, man. But yeah, now that I really think about it, why would it end in the middle of a fight? That doesn't make sense. Why did I think that? So, let's finish the Thriller Bark. Finally. I will say there are 2 moments in the chapters that I read that are amazing. Like, 2 top-tier moments in the whole arc. The first being Zoro. He's slowly becoming my favorite character. So, Zora versus Kuma. Man! Such a good... I wouldn't really call it like a fight. I mean, Kuma, who has eaten the pawpaw fruit and can basically, like, he has paws for hands, and I think he can shoot. Was it explained before what it does? And maybe I just forgot. But it looks like it can shoot and, like, take the pain from other people. Or, like, shoot energy or something. Let me know in the comments if it was explained before and I just happened to forget it. So Zoro steps up to fight Kuma and he gets off a few attacks. But Kuma lets him know that he's not leaving without Luffy. And I'm pretty sure Zoro, like, felt that he could not win. It was a losing battle. So he offered himself. Again, he has so much honor and self-sacrifice. And he says, and I'm getting, like, chill bumps just thinking about it. He says that he can't let him take his captain because he's going to be the king of the pirates. And he will protect his captain at all costs. Zoro had a real shining moment with this. And like I said, I've always really liked Zoro, but something about this really hit me differently. You know? So Zoro is on his knees and says, you know, take my head, take me, don't take the captain. But then Sanji shows up and says, hey, no, take me instead. These 2 guys always want to out-macho each other. And they might fight and bicker, but I think they have a level of respect for one another that they don't have for the rest of the crew. I mean, they do have respect for all the crew members, like, don't get me wrong on that, but the respect that they have for each other, even though it seems like they hate each other, I think they're secretly each other's best friends. I'm going to go ahead and say it right here, right now. Sanji, Zoro, best friends. I hope they're best friends, you know? But Zoro won't let that happen, obviously. He's got to be the most macho and the most manly. And he's got to do the self-sacrificing. So, he hits Sanji with his sword. Sanji kind of passes out. Kuma has Luffy's body. And he says, well, if you're going to take his place, you have to know the pain that he went through in all his battles. If you're going to take his place, you got to know that pain. So he takes his hand and basically pushes out all of the penance or pain that he has endured throughout the battles of Thriller Bark. And Kuma tells Zoro, you have to experience all this pain, you won't make it out alive. He shoots a little bit at Zoro, and Zoro, it takes him down. Just like a speck, just a small, tiny speck. And this ball of energy that he has pushed out of Luffy is massive. Massive. So Zoro walks up to this energy penance chamber, basically. And sticks both his hands through it. And you can kind of see there's a panel of blood, like, he is in some trouble. And he's not going to survive this. He's sacrificing himself for Luffy, for his crew. Everyone wakes up from Kuma pretty much destroying the buildings. Where did that 7 warlords guy go? No one can find him. He's just disappeared. Sanji wakes up and looks for Zoro. Zoro stands there, bloody, beaten, and bruised, and Sanji asks him, What happened? And this man, in such a cool way, I can't stop saying it like this, I wish I was as cool. I feel like I do not pull it off as well, but here I am. He says, nothing happened here. This man is destroyed. Nothing happened. I was hanging out. Guys, what are y'all doing? It is by far my favorite moment in Thriller Bark. Like, Zoro, you're something else. It really shows that he cares about his crew. For someone that I feel like doesn't talk as much as the others, he does have conversations, but he's not as boisterous as the others. He always takes care of things when it needs to be taken care of. And that's why he's slowly becoming my favorite member of the crew. And after that, they basically plan on setting sail from Thriller Bark and going on their adventure. But before that, they're going to have a party because guess what? Everyone can eat again. Everyone has their shadows. Let's celebrate. Time to celebrate. You think it's going to be a joyous occasion. Like, yeah, let's celebrate. We did it. But then Brooke starts playing the piano. And we learn his backstory. I'll be honest with you, it's on video. I was not sold on Brooke. I'm very much sold on him now after his backstory. You have turned this comedic character that can be such a goofy thing, and his story is tragic. What a story. So he is with this band of pirates, and he's kind of like, they say, like, oh, the landfall song, the happy song, this. He's like the musician of this band of pirates. One day his captain gets sick. I do love the way in the manga how it basically is cutting between him as Bones on the deserted ship where he's alone, and he's having these flashbacks, these memories of his crew. Like, it was a good added touch to it. I felt that Brooke was alone. And I felt that because he's having this dream and then he feels pain, he wakes up and he's like, no, that was the dream, me with the pirates. I'm alone on this ship for 50 years. Makes you feel for the guy, you know? So when his captain gets sick, he sends Brooke and the rest of the crew, because him and like 12 crew members are sick and he doesn't want to affect anyone on the Grand Line, and they're going to see if they can make it back, you know, a different way. But they need to split up so the infection doesn't spread. So Brooke inadvertently becomes the captain of this new crew of pirates. And then their weapons get poisoned, and everyone, it cuts to like the ship and all the weapons are on the ground and everyone's dying. And they say, well, you have ate the Revivi fruit. And Brooke goes, yeah, I just never died before, but we know that he comes back as the Brooke that we know. So in one of my other favorite moments, like, I'm so glad you guys told me, hey man, not the end of the filler bark. There is more. Because he gets this tone dial, and as people die around him, he plays Binks Brew. And again, it's another chill moment. Like, it's crazy that I went through this arc, and yeah, there's been good moments and moments that I enjoyed and like trying to find the good in it. But the one that I was going to stop at has given me two like goosebump moments. They've been so emotional. For an arc that wasn't really super on the emotions, these last like 8 chapters have been nothing but emotion in different ways. Even some of you said in the comments, like, hey man, this is some of the best stuff. You were right. Again, thank you for being my guide through the world of One Piece. All of you as my guides. You always lead me in the right direction, because that moment when he talks about a quartet, a duo, and then his crew members all drop, and he says, "Solo, if that don't hit you, you're an absolute monster, okay? If you do not feel any, you are a monster." For a character that I didn't enjoy, Oda has turned me around, at least on his backstory. And it's made me feel for him as a character. It's incredible. It's an incredible moment. So he did the tone dial to bring it back to Laboon, which he keeps in the top of his head. Because, it's where he can keep things, I guess. Which makes me wonder. Okay, this is a theory that could be way off. I just read into this. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. He keeps it in his head. It's a tone dial that plays the song of him and his crew singing that Binks Brew. And he says it's kept him sane for 50 years. Since it's in his head, do you think it's constantly playing? Do you think for the last 50 years, he has constantly, every moment, heard that song on repeat in his head to help him remember his human life? I don't know. Just a theory that I thought. I was like, well, it is kept in his head. He can probably hear stuff in his head. Has it just been constantly in his mind? It would be pretty cool if it... sad. Incredibly sad. Like... that would drive a normal human being insane. It wouldn't keep them sane. It would drive them insane. But, I don't know. Just something that I thought I would throw out there. Something that popped in my head when I read that. And after we learn his backstory, and he asks Laboon, "You waited for 50 years, can you wait 1 or 2 more?" He officially asks Luffy to join his crew. And of course Luffy says yes immediately. But after everything he's done, wouldn't you say yes? I would. At first I was like, Luffy just told yeah. But now you've earned it. Now, welcome to the crew. And Frankie makes a memorial for his crew members that were on his ship, because one, he said he didn't want all the bones to be on the Thousand Sunny, and Brooke goes, well, this is our homeland, so hopefully they can find some peace. And it was a really nice memorial, really nice moment. And who joins him is Zoro, and he puts the sword in the ground and says, "This is a dead sword, may it rest here as well." And he bows. I always enjoy, and I've said it multiple times through all the videos, his level of respect he has for stuff it's a lesson we can all learn. Like, just respect people and respect things. I really like that about him. And in the final few panels of, hopefully, the end of the Thriller Bark arc, if I release this video and there's a comment being like, actually, it ends at chapter 490 or 491. I read chapter 489. I am up to chapter 490. Have not read that. Oh, man. If this video comes out and they're like, actually, it's like 492. There's going to be a part 4 that's going to be like 5 minutes long. But no, hopefully this is it. And in the final few panels, they leave you wanting so many answers. So, Lola gives Nami a piece of life paper. And basically the whole thing is you give fingernails and they make a piece of paper and you tear it into pieces and you give it to people you care about. And they move towards the direction of all the pieces. So you kind of can keep track of everybody and see what direction they are in. Luffy got a piece of paper from Ace. And that is brought up. And Lola says, "Let me see it." And she asks, "Who gave you this?" And Luffy says, "My older brother gave me that." And she goes, "I hate to break it to you, they're on the verge of death." You know how in a lot of videos I'm like, oh, I would like more Ace. I think he's kind of cool, and like the flame powers and the way he moves. I don't know, he seems cool that I would want, a character I would want to know more about. Sounds like we're going to get more of them. Sounds like he's not in a great place. I feel like he can't win. I feel like Ace always got something going on. Like anytime he pops in and out of One Piece, it's never like a good time for him. But yeah, that's where we leave it. I guess Ace is in not a good place, like about to die. And I'm sure, I mean, it doesn't say it at the last page that I read, but I'm sure Luffy's like, oh, well, we're going to get him. Because he's always going to protect his brother. What a way to end it. Like, I'm probably, because I think there's only like 2 or 3 more chapters in volume 50, so I'm probably going to finish reading that volume tonight or tomorrow. And then on to Sababadi? Sabodi? Sabodi? I guess that's the new arc. That's what volume 50 says. So, I have no idea what to expect. I just know Ace is not in a good place. But yeah, we finally made it through Thriller Bark arc. I, again, can't say this enough. I appreciate everyone being like, hey man, like, none of you were mean because you're never mean. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. You guys are awesome. If you're feeling bad today or something, don't feel bad about yourself. You're awesome for helping me out and not being like douchey about it, you know? Like you guys were just like, "Hey, listen, whoa, you didn't stop in the right place." And usually with that comment was always like, "Can't wait for part 3." Here's part 3. I guess since I have another video to kind of revisit my final thoughts from when I shot the second part of the Thriller Bark arc videos, I've thought about it more. A little bit of time has passed, and I've thought about it more. And especially with these last 2 chapters, and I don't mean this in like a bad way. And a lot of you said in the comments of those videos, like think of it as kind of a side stop or a side adventure kind of thing. And that is true. It is a fun little side adventure of like, oh, crazy wacky island. But I will say the bonus and the good part about it, because I can't actively just be like, this is my least favorite arc, which it is my least favorite arc, but it's not like a bad arc, is because just like with Brook and with Zoro and Kuma and Luffy and the crew, they all have their good moments. Usopp and the Perona fight, like there's always good moments in this. And that's really what I've taken away from it. While it might not be the most hyped arc or the most action-packed arc or the most story-driven arc, Laboon, Brook, Luffy's fight with Moria, there was good story elements and good action elements. So I can't say it's a bad arc, and I can say that there are moments that I will remember. The Brook and the quartet duo solo and everyone drop, like I'll remember that moment in my One Piece adventure journey that we're on volume 50 out of like 100 to current. So we're about halfway. We're halfway to current. Wild to think about. It's crazy. But there are moments that I think will stick with me throughout my One Piece journey. It's just when you're ending from Enies Lobby and Water 7, it's hard to follow that. And Thriller Bark just happened to follow it. But it does not get me less excited about continuing and going on to volume 51. So yeah, that is where we're headed. And I cannot be more excited. And I swear to you, if he just finds Ace like dead somewhere and we don't get more story on Ace, I'm going to be bummed. Like, I am not going to be happy. As always, thank you for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. You guys are so awesome. And yeah, let's go to volume 51. Start of a new arc. Start of a new journey. I'll see you next time.